wait, how do I? Hello, and welcome to the Coop De Villa podcast. I'm Tommy, this is Noah, and this is Scott. We're here to review Aston Villa's thumping of the Brentford, and as we call it, welcome to the Dank Bank. Plenty more coming after this.
Yes. Yes. Okay, yes, welcome back to the Dank Bank. This is our review of Aston Villa versus Brentford. The cloud of Steven Gerrad has floated away, and we are now back to winning ways. We've got our club back. Well, it feels like that anyway. Noah, where in the hell did that come from, and how are you feeling those first 15 minutes?
Honestly, so I was like talking to my mates like on Messenger, same with you guys in the group chat, and I was just laughing. I could not believe what was going on. Like, I think there's a voice, I think I forwarded it to you guys when I was messaging my mate about the penalty. I was just laughing when we got the penalty. Like, everything that we wanted went our way. Like, I swear we've had that incident with Tyrone Mings happen 3 or 4 times this season, and we didn't get penalty for it.
Yep.
But when you get the rub of the green, as I always say, what's going your way goes your way. But Scott, last week, I said we had good players. What are your thoughts on these players of ours now?
Look, I was very dejected. It was straight after the game. Steven Gerrad hadn't been even sacked at that point. We did the podcast last week. It was only just afterwards. I mean, we do have good players. I can see that, and they showed that yesterday. Maybe there are a few players I still think that need to at least have a rest, and I think a couple of them did have a rest yesterday. We obviously were underachieving. And when I said we didn't have good players, I was just, I didn't know where I was. I was dejected, and I feel 100 times better this week. Noah?
No, fair enough.
So Tommy, how are you feeling after what was a unbelievable victory?
Well, first of all, it's glad to be back. Had a little bit of time off, but after some persuasion from sure the Villa faithful, I'm back. And I was always coming back, just a few personal things. Incredible, right? I actually started watching the first half on my phone at a random lookout by myself, obviously. I've done some drop-offs. But anyway, I started watching it, and I'm like, oh, I'll watch a little bit and then I'll head home and finish it off. And I'm a big believer in superstition, so I actually stayed in my car for the whole 90 minutes until 2 a.m. watching it on my phone. So I'm like, all right, we're up 3-0. I've seen us throw this away, and just everything went our way. I mean, Bailey was electric. Ings was just being Ings, and Ollie, just all the hard work and persistence paid off in the end. I know he was on a bit of a goal drought. I genuinely believe it should have been 7-8-0 in a statement game like that Liverpool one, which we'll never forget. So suck it, Liverpool fans. Just David Raya, honestly, like some incredible saves from him. And I really think it should have been, 7-8-0. I do know that Ings hasn't actually had a Premier League hat-trick before. Just a bucket load of braces, apparently.
I think I said 15 braces or something.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And that's what I thought. I'm like, take Watkins off and leave Ingsy on. I'd love for us to get a pen or something. And I mean, for God's sake, we've even got Mings getting assists, even if it's, getting his shirt tugged, and, probably plenty more after that. But, it was a great performance.
No, it was fantastic. Those first 15 minutes were absolutely crazy. Noah, that Aaron Danks took over as caretaker, and he made some big calls, leaving out McGinn and Ramsey from the starting 11, bringing in Dendoncker. We just look so much better in that midfield with Dendoncker, Buendia, and Louise, who I thought all performed so well. Having the wingers actually playing on their proper sides. They're not inverted. So we had Leon Bailey, the left footer on the left, Ollie Watkins, the right footer on the right. I think that just helped Danny Ings a lot. There was a few little tweaks there.
I mean, we've been calling out for this formation for a while, a 4-2-3-1. Yep. And it's amazing when you play players in their right position, what actually happens with players. But I'll tell you what, Dendoncker, give him the Ballon d'Or. Give him the Ballon d'Or already.
Yeah, what a baller, man.
Honestly, to be fair, I always said we need a big just CDM, and he's that guy. He looks so calm and composed on the ball. I think he went on a few dribbles as well. Like, he just looked so good.
Yep.
But I think if we had played McGinn and Ramsey, let's say one or the two, instead of Dendoncker, it wouldn't have suited
They're
them.
not tough. They're not ball winners, Noah. And again,
It wouldn't have suited them.
You know what's scary, right? What about Kamara when he comes back? Because Dendoncker right now, it's like it's his position to lose. And do you drop Dougie or do you maybe play him in an advanced role where he belongs? But it's like, well, it's either Dougie or Emmy, right? Because then it'd be Dendoncker and Kamara. And I think that'd be an absolute force of a partnership.
Well, I think, honestly, I just look at that team and Dougie Luiz was still attacking a lot. Like, he had a couple of a great chance. Like, that shot I thought was going in when we were absolutely on fire. But just one of those days where I wish the game kept going, to be honest. Like, normally when it gets to end of Villa games this season, I've been pretty excited to go to bed and turn off the TV, but I could not. I didn't want to go to bed. Like, it was very exciting. And for people that missed the game, I got a text from Troy. Good old Troy. He messaged me. He goes, I woke up at 4 a.m. and started to fast forward a bit past all the usual pre-game waffle. But I went too far to the 14th minute mark. 3-0. Huh? Shit, I need new glasses. That says 3-0. So, like, if you fell asleep and missed some of the game, you missed the best part, because we could have scored 5 goals.
There would have been plenty of Villa fans that, didn't have their eye on the game for some reason, and had just been like, what? We're winning 3-0. What? Like, but watching it live, the same as you guys, I was, just in
I wish I was
disbelief.
there. I wish I was there, because Villa Park was absolutely rocking, and fair play to the fans, because sometimes when you lose a manager, obviously I think Villa fans were all pretty excited, to say the least, that Gerrard was going.
Yeah.
But watching those videos of Max,
I don't know what you're saying. No, I had my Gerrard flag like a couple weeks ago.
But it's one of those things. Like, it's just such a good atmosphere, and 4 goals. Like, when was the last time we scored 4 goals in a game in the Premier League? It would have been actually
Southampton.
Southampton. Yeah,
people think that quick finishes aren't enjoyable. What do they know? All right. Also, is anyone reading Baz's comment in the group chat? Can I just read it out? Can I read the little story? So
sure, go for
apparently
it,
his mate who works down at the Villa on match days, right? So anyways, he goes, this chap Natalie works with his best mate, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So Gerrard's phone went off and he looked at it and said to McAllister, this is it. They went to the front of the coach as in bus. He took the call and glanced and nodded to McAllister. So that those were his marching orders. They went up and down, shaking players' hands and said, thank you. Ashley Young didn't even take his earbuds out. The coach stopped at a service station. Gerrard got off and apparently didn't get back on. Gerrard apparently wanted to be mates with everyone and went out with them for nights out, even if he wasn't invited, but he just wanted to be part of the players group. Some of the younger players liked it. Other of the older players didn't. And apparently Martinez was behind the players' revolt to get Gerrard out. Which, fair enough. I mean, like, football's kind of like a job. You don't want a coach that's always in your face and one of the boys. You kind of need to have that separation. And also, I think him becoming one of the boys, maybe there wasn't that respect for him as the coach. I know that's just what I know. It could just be pure rumors.
Well,
but
I mean, there is a lot of rumors going around right now.
Seems like
something
was on. Like, it just seems like there was something going on behind closed doors. And I think even last week, right, Sawiris just stormed out of the club, and rightfully so, right? We were trash. And to be honest,
once we went 2-0 down at Fulham, him and Wes Eden stormed off.
No, Wes Eden wasn't there. It was Perslow.
Personally, okay,
it had to be. They must have turned against Gerrard, because you can't. Surely you cannot go from playing that crap to that good in 4 days. I know the formation was
bad, right. Like, the players could have probably always done this. They're like, nah, fuck it. And fair enough, right? Like, if the majority of the dressing room aren't sold on a coach, it gets pretty toxic in there, right? It's almost like seeing a partner that you don't want to be with.
Yeah, but we haven't been good for a long, long time. I don't think this is like a thing that's happened.
It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of talent. It's probably lack of tactics. It's a lack of making subs. It's a lack of playing plays in positions. It's a over reliance on playing certain players. Coutinho, I'm going to single him out. Like, it's too many times, right? How many times did he just need to shift Coutinho for Buendia? But then the problem was, when Buendia starts, he's shit. When he comes off the bench, he was doing well. But then started yesterday, and like, his work rate for a little AM is actually unreal. He's got like this little like bulldog, and I love it. And
he was so good yesterday.
Full credit to Doug, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm not, I think Bailey got the 3 votes, but now that I think about it, I mean, that's a complete 360 from Dougie. Yeah, red card to fucking taking corners that are almost going in, assist for the first goal, and just a completely different player since he's re-signed the contract. We thought he was gone, and I would have said, 30, 40 mil, we'll take it. But now got a ball on our hands, right?
Well, I think everyone played well. I mean, like I think we defended well, even though there was a game that Brentford didn't really offer a lot. I think Emmy made some good saves, took some good catches from crosses. I think the armband really, lifted his game because he has been, under par this season. I think Emmy, even by he'd probably say, he hasn't been terrible, but he's been a little bit below average, I would say.
It's confidence, Scott, by the sounds of it, what I was reading earlier, yeah? Seems like he was leading the rebellion against Gerrard, so he probably didn't even want to play for the club.
Well, that is interesting because remember that big interview they had with him? He spoke a lot about Michael Beale and not so much about Gerrard in that interview. So
he really loved Michael Beale.
Yeah, he said he's it's like we've almost got two managers, he said. Like, he kind of. So I think maybe maybe he didn't like Gerrard.
Well, I think Gerrard was just the mask, and a lot of the brains trust was behind him. I mean, QPR seems to be doing pretty well from what I'm seeing.
The top of the championship.
And even Dino with Norwich, everyone that seems to leave Villa does well, and that's like best case scenario for all, right? Like we never wish bad on any manager,
no.
Except Alex McLeish, blue nose prick. But
it's very rare though that like Villa fans have to get to turn that quickly. It would Fulham would have been a terrible place to be on that Thursday night because it was so toxic.
I think because it's just so repetitive. No, it's like everyone's got a breaking point, and it was the same shit for nearly a year, right? And everyone's like, you would have been in the championship without Gerrard, and I don't know, like I'm not too sure it would have been.
Well,
but
it was starting to turn when I was there. That was starting like Leeds away was kind of the first cracks were really starting to show, not breaking down 10-man leads and all that kind of stuff, but. Look,
no game plan, right?
Yeah, I think that's that's exactly the point, Tommy. Like it was all the same mistakes over and over again. There was nothing different. It didn't look like he was even thinking on his feet at any point in the game, and it just went from bad to worse to absolutely unattainable. We couldn't keep that up.
And it's funny, right? Because, technically, Gerrard's probably one of the most gifted players in history. And then when it just comes to very basic decisions as a manager, I understand there's drills and that, but it's just very basic coaching decisions. Change your lineup, play players where they belong, make subs, make the right subs, and don't be afraid to change things up, mix it up. Just very basic things that he wasn't doing. And it makes no sense for a player that's so technically gifted, right?
Well, him and Gary McAllister were both great midfielders, and that's where we lost games.
And then Gabby, right? Bonhall came out and apparently goes, I don't know how McAllister's back at the club. He was just doing keepy ups and offered nothing when he was there with Houllier. So anyway, just food for thought.
Well, I mean, there's been plenty of great players that haven't been fantastic managers. I mean, ask Chelsea fans about Ruud Gullit.
Or Lampard.
Lampard's doing okay.
Lampard's doing okay now, but
it's not like he's evident into contenders or anything. They're just kind of scraping through.
Gary Neville,
trash again. Just
there's plenty of examples out there, and I mean, I think Gerrard actually probably will get it together somewhere and find a good fit. I just don't think this was the fit. I think that we, as a club. I think that was probably he's probably still too close to that Liverpool, and never really bought into the Villa side of it. He never had a close relationship with the fans, and when it got bad, it got kind of nasty, and a lot of that came through him.
But what I love is when we appointed Gerrard, all the Villa fans are like, "Oh, we're gonna lose in the Liverpool. We're gonna lose in the Liverpool. So bad."
Yeah, he does well.
Stepping stone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
He's not going to Liverpool now.
He's not going to Liverpool anymore. That's for sure.
He's down to 14s if he's lucky, and he can work his way up through the.
Look, I reckon he'll go back to Scotland. I reckon he'll go back to Scotland, and I don't know.
Then again, it just goes to show, right? Like we bring in Ange. Like, is anything going to change? Really, it's a 2-horse race. There. It's almost like bringing someone from France that's unproven. I mean, we keep talking about Poch. Bit of a digression, by the way. I know now that Gerrard's gone, who do you think's the next Premier League manager to go? Bruno
Lage? No. Well, Leicester playing well, actually.
Large from Leeds?
He's gone.
Jesse Marsh from Leeds.
Jesse Marsh, yeah.
He's gone Large.
Yeah, Large is gone.
Yeah, he went before Gerrard, yeah.
They've got a caretaker.
Till the end of the year.
Bournemouth have got a caretaker. We've got a caretaker. So, yeah, there's there's quite a few, clubs out there looking for a manager right now. And
Well, so we were at St Edens, right? Came out and said we're willing to make our next manager one of the highest paid. I think it was like 10 million a year. They're going to table to a world-class manager. So I know Danks is good, and if he gets the job, great. If not, I do believe we're going to bring in a big name. So, all the recommendations who we think we're going to get, I think it'll be a big name. I know it sounds silly, but even just who we're linked with, I think realistically it's the Lisbon coach, Emery. I know it's going to be, really, people think it's unreal, but I think it's Poch or Tuchel. It's probably one of them four.
Really, they both said no though. Tuchel and Poch said no. Apparently,
money talks, Noah. Money talk.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that. I said that to you. You know that.
Well, let's talk a bit more about the game before we get on to who's gonna.
How about no? This is the Dank Bank podcast now, and I'm kidding.
Well, that's. I mean, because I think some of the goals were so good that they we need to talk about them.
Yeah,
the first one, for example, that's a corner routine I haven't seen before. So
Austin McPhee special.
Is it though?
That's what Banks said. That's what he said in his post-game press conference.
Okay, because I've never seen us use that variety before.
He said, yeah.
Was Gerrard silencing people, right? Saying, no, I'm doing it my way. He's got people there to look good, right? And maybe he'll take some input. But
we were so good at set pieces until Gerrard came in. We were really good at them. And
I mean, Conser was scoring. Remember, he was like a set piece weapon.
Yeah. But I'll tell
you
what, the first goal annoyed me though, because the bloody shadows, the sun on the pitch, I couldn't see the ball. Right. So I actually couldn't. And then you see the crowd roaring, it's a goal. But until then, I couldn't really tell what was going on.
Being racist.
Well, he absolutely smashed that ball.
He smacked it, yeah.
And, it was very, very similar to his goal against Man City. But, beautifully set up. Him and Louise,
we did call it, right? Start of the season, we said we think Bailey's going to have a great season based on preseason, and he's fully fit. And now with hopefully the right manager and him being regular, I hope those are consistent performances we get to see.
But my favorite goal of the lot was definitely the second one. The build up to that second one.
Talk us through it.
Well, I think it was it the pass? Was it Buendia that played it through to Bailey?
It was.
Buendia passed it to Ashley Young, and Young played it through to Bailey.
Was it Young? Was it that played through to Bailey?
Yep.
Yeah, but just proper football. And then the ball was perfectly placed to Bailey, and that pass from Bailey was just sublime to Danny Ings. I couldn't even I just saw him. This is a goal.
Well, yeah, and I think this goes back to playing Bailey on the left. Is that he had two options there. He could either shoot or cross it. And he picked that extra pass, which I think, is the kind of thing we weren't doing under Gerrard. We weren't creating for each other. We weren't looking for each other. We weren't actually making good chances for the centre forward. I mean, Ings hasn't scored for 7 games, I think it was, before this one.
Poacher, man, he's not going to go in play to his feet.
He hadn't scored in 9 games, I think 9 or 10
games.
Yeah.
So
no one said it.
And we put it on a plate for him. What does he do? Bang, straight in the back of the net.
And Noah said it too, right? Bailey on the left, Watkins on the right, left footer on the left, right footer on the right. Just cross it into Ings. It's not hard. Keep it on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think inverted wingers can work, and I think you can see with certain players that they prefer it, they do better with it, but I don't think it needs to be sort of concrete every week. We can mix it up, and I think mixing it up this week really helped us, and especially Danny Ings. And then there was the third goal, the penalty. Tommy, definite penalty, 100%.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you saw the replay 5 times. I mean, the ref didn't even consult VAR. Just trusted his gut. I think the lino called it or someone. So the ref clearly saw it. Great. I don't know. I thought Mings was going to get ahead. I could just be like, why is he in that position? Usually he's in the middle, and it actually works. So hey, full credit to Mingsy, and Ings just blasting it through. Obviously, Ray couldn't save that one. I don't even know how many saves he had. Probably a good 10.
A lot.
5 goals saves. I feel bad.
Dougie Louise had a couple of shots, hit the post from the corner.
The corner, unreal.
That was a good save from Raya, that one. Oh, my goodness.
I'm probably more excited to talk about the fourth goal. I mean, Bailey's run, is that probably one of the assists of the season, if not the assist?
Well, sadly, he doesn't get an assist for it.
Yeah, you're right. He took a touch.
It was an amazing pass and run.
In the hearts of the Villa faithful, it's an assist, right? In terms of attacking threat, every time he touched the ball or put the ball in the box, it was either a goal or it created danger or an assist. And
I feel great for Ollie Watkins, because you could just see the relief in his face when it finally went in. If he had not scored in that moment, I think, he could have maybe gone into next week still, tense and feeling under pressure. But now that's just going to like totally, take the pressure off, and we can go to Newcastle next week and we can have a right go with them. They're playing well. They're doing really well this season. They're in the top four.
Everyone's bubble has to burst, Scott, and I think ours is kind of popped, and this is a little bit of a fresh patch. It's going to pop at some point. Let's be realistic, right? But Watkins and Ings, this is a 3-goal partnership in one game. So is this what we can what we can look forward to? Hopefully.
Yep. And even the substitutes, I thought McGinn when he came on was brilliant. Like he just looked like the man possessed, the little nugget that we've seen, in previous years, like throwing himself into tackles, actually passing the ball to our players, which he hasn't been doing for months.
And putting the armband back on him, I thought was a nice touch.
I love that, yeah. But it's a different feeling. Coming on, he came on at 3-0, was it? Was it 4-0 when he came on?
I think 4-0.
Like 4-0. He really had nothing to lose in that situation. He could just
complacent,
release himself. He can just do what he wants to do. And hopefully that's the confidence we need. Even get an Archer on for 10 minutes when you're up 4-0. Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And I reckon that's what he said. And you saw all the plays that came off. I don't know, just feel like when Watkins and Cash will come, it's almost like we're preserving.
And Leon Bailey as well.
Preserving our gems, right? I totally respect that. And just everyone's hugging each other, embracing each other. It's, Watkins coming on for Archer. Watkins got his goal. And he's like, go out there and get him. No, I love seeing that.
Awesome. And and then just the crowd, I think, the Holt End, scoring those goals in front of the Holt End, just, it was just such a pressure release to the whole team, the whole, coaching staff and everyone involved. And I just hope that we can keep this run going for a bit. I don't know when the new manager will be coming in. There's talk about early next week on Twitter, but
really?
you can't really believe these stories. I don't know. I mean,
who do you think it is realistically?
Realistically, I think it could be someone like an Emery.
Yeah, Villa for Villa.
Villa.
Oh, it's Valencia, I think.
No, he's at Villarreal. Yeah,
Villarreal.
Yeah. No, okay, I get it.
Villa Boas was linked, wasn't he?
Yeah, Villa. I would like Gallardo from River Plate, to be honest, but I think that's probably too much of a risk. But that guy is an absolute gun. He's like one of these pep prodigies. I don't know.
Get Ange Postecoglou. Get him in.
No way.
Thanks for biting, Tommy. Thanks for biting on my joke, mate.
I wouldn't be absolutely devastated if we did get Ange. I know it's not going to happen.
No, but
they're not going to do that again.
No, they're not.
Obviously,
the Aston Villa Mitsubishis or something. He brings all his bloody Japs.
But I would rather him than Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche just reminds me of the McLeish era.
I saw on Twitter that apparently Sean Dyche would extremely love the Aston Villa job or something.
I'm sure he would. Him and John McGinn could have a good go at each other again and talk about it. Get yourself a new jacket.
Dyche already got the claret hair going.
Oh dear. No, but yeah, I mean, I don't really want him, and I don't want Rafa Benitez.
I think we've got to aim big, Scott. I think this happens, right, when you just consistently get shit. I think just go all out and get a manager. It's kind of just like when you go buy a new car. You got your warranty for 7 years. You're fine.
Yeah.
But if you look at this, right, go back to this time last year, getting Gerrard in was such a quick process. I think it was not even under a week.
But
that had been in the works for months.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
And I felt bad for Dino. It was done
but I think this is in the works for months.
You reckon?
Yep.
I reckon it's going to be a big name. I know it sounds silly.
I think it will be. I think it'll be a big name.
Honestly, I love Poch, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I don't really want him. Tuchel's different class. If we get Tuchel, don't get me wrong, that's next level, right? He actually went and achieved things. He's done great things. Chelsea, he was dealt a harsh hand. He had a shit ton of injuries.
The thing about Poch, though, he took a young Spurs team and molded them into...
And at Southampton, too, don't forget what he built. Was he coaching him when they had what's his name? Was it Dusan Tadic and all that? Was he the coach?
Yeah, Mane,
Sadio Mane,
Wanyama,
Tadic, Pele.
Yeah. But
to be honest, I can't see us getting Poch or Tuchel.
Nah, I can't.
Not in a million years. We would have to be
Should have gone after
We would have to be in Europe to get them.
Yeah, I think so too. But
Also-
I'll tell you what, my go-to manager, get Troy Eccles in charge. I know he's listening. Troy, hope you get the job because he is like
I hope he gets his
tactical
wife
mastermind.
job.
I'd
What
like
was
to
that?
manage to get him back on here to have a rant about Gerrard.
Can we get a in the comments hashtag bring back Troy?
Oh, that'd be,
bring-
yeah, do it. Please get onto him on Twitter. And
Hashtag the Trojan horse.
yeah, I'm sure he's got plenty to say on
I think we'll get him on for a
Steven
few
Gerrad.
cameos. Yeah. That'd be
I
good.
reckon we will. There's got a bit of stuff going on, Troy. So we
Yeah.
love him and he'll be back soon, hopefully.
We miss him.
We miss you, Troy.
But anyway,
And-
what a I think it's just where's that DiCaprio meme? Villa fans walking into work looking for.
That's how I was this morning. Like normally after a game, I'm just so upset. You know,
I'm
why have I wasted it again? Like get up so early and you waste it. But I've got home from work and I watched the highlights.
Yeah, I was 3 coffees in or 5 hours sleep today. I'm like, it's a good day. So
It's a
far.
good day.
Yeah, I watched the India-Pakistan T20, which was amazing. That was a great match. And
Unreal.
then Villa straight afterwards. It was a great night of
I
sport.
love the 24-minute highlights, the mini, not the
Yeah,
short.
how good.
It just cuts out all the time walking to go take it.
And,
Great. But
oh no, it's fantastic.
Dendonka is baller though. Dendonka is unreal.
He's very good. And for 12 mil, whatever it was, that's elite.
Yeah, 11 I think. But yeah, does he start for Belgium? Or is that a few cameos?
I don't
so.
think he plays that often, but he does.
I think he competes with Axel Witsel, which isn't a easy task, right?
He'll be part of the squad for sure.
But still, the players he'd be surrounding himself with. I think he's a baller. No, I think he's great. Who keeps bloody messaging the group chat?
Not me.
It is you.
Who just put the rumor? Is
Not
there
me.
that you put?
Not me.
It's saying Emery's going to be announced today, but I've seen that rumor. I
can't say it.
I don't think that's true, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, please let us know in the comments who you would like to see as the manager.
Guardiola, name right. Come down, Pep.
Yeah, we'll just get Alex Ferguson. Yeah. Now,
Alex Ferguson.
look, my dad actually said, "What about John Terry?" And I was like,
he won't leave Chelsea now.
Never go back to an ex.
No.
"Well, he's back at Chelsea, is he?"
Yeah,
John
he
Terry,
is.
as all right.
Can he like sneak a word into Gallagher? Come to Villa, brother.
I don't think we need Gallagher anymore, to be honest. We got Dendonka.
That's it, and we should be
Blame up.
going for a proven manager. Like,
Yeah.
none of this sort of
Like,
taking a punt.
He's got a very detailed resume. Like I know we give him shit because of the Arsenal thing. I think that he was dealt a pretty harsh hand and a shit squad. But no, I think he'll do great things if he comes.
Yeah, and when I say a proven manager, I don't mean like you have to have been in the Premier League. I mean just
A good resume, not you've come from a championship or you've like Thomas Frank, like great guy. Don't get me wrong. Like I think we should be aiming higher than that.
Well,
Yeah,
I think so.
and a lot of
I've nothing
people-
but respect for him.
I think someone that really you got to look at recruitment, reputation, and really just how long they've been at other clubs as well, right? If someone's been hopping between clubs, and I think it would make more logical sense us paying big bucks to go get a manager poached from a club than someone who's technically unemployed, because there's a reason why. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Don't get me wrong. If someone failed at like Tuchel failed at Chelsea, like I'd take him tomorrow. Poch at PSG, I'd take him tomorrow still.
Yeah.
They're
Do you know
But
what I find
like a
interesting?
Benitez, he just doesn't
I just think
goes from club to club.
That was a rash call for me. It was just like
I think his style's outdated, to be honest, right?
I think it is
I
too.
think it's more like bring him in. He's like a Sam Allardyce, just does a job, and then he's not the long-term answer. Where we've got to look long-term, and especially if Sawiris and Edens are willing to splash the cash, I think just go blow it all on some great manager. If it costs them to pay out their current contract, bring him over, do it at whatever it costs.
Well, this guy from Sporting Lisbon has a 70% win ratio.
That's it, and they're playing some good football too, right?
Very good
Yeah,
football. They're
in
playing
Europe as
well.
well.
They're playing well in the Champions League. And
What about Lucescu? I know it's a bit of I don't think it's a punt. The Shakhtar manager. Those guys are basically Brazilian.
Tedesco, yeah.
No, Lucescu, his name. He's a Romanian guy. He coaches Shakhtar. Very attacking style football, man.
I haven't heard him mentioned, but maybe, yeah. I mean, look, I just want someone that can come in, work well with the young players.
That we're safe yet. It's like we don't need to worry about our next manager because it's like we
do.
Right? That's the problem. We haven't had that for years. Dean was great, but it was like, what if? And then you start to say, okay, the challenge is getting too big. I'd rather some, big manager come in. He's got a task at his hand, but when he gets us to where we need to be, it's like, this is his level. It's not like, it's like when you get your business to a certain point, you're like, I can only take it so far. I have to give it away or sell it off. When we get to that point, I believe we will. I think I hope we can almost replicate what Newcastle are doing this year because we thought we'd be on par with them. And to be honest, they just went and got Eddie Howe and look how well they're doing, right?
They haven't bought that good of players. Like their team's actually pretty on paper. Yeah. You'd probably say a better team.
I thought our team's better on paper, right?
Yeah.
When Kamara back, but then they go and splash 60, 70 million on Isak. I think I know it sounds wrong, but that's got to be a big signing for us next season. Yeah. We need a big money striker saying, yep, this guy's a goal machine. He's the one that you've got to look out for Villa.
I think they bought some quality like Trippier, Guimaraes.
They're more quality, but when they were getting, we're going to get Mbappe, we're going to get, they're going to spend.
Yeah, they haven't gone down that road.
If they're competing in Europa League next year, watch the caliber of players they're going to attract, right? So same as West Ham, you see who they're signed, like Scamacca, like he hasn't hit the ground running. They've been struggling a bit, hot and cold, but he's a very big signing for them.
Yeah, and
anyway,
Paqueta.
50 mil.
One of the things that's kind of annoyed me today is I've had a lot of my Liverpool friends sort of texting me saying, "Oh, the players threw Gerrard under the bus and all this sort of stuff." And
mate, Klopp isn't that far off, I tell you. Yeah. Might keep him at Villa if they keep going that way.
To all my Liverpool friends, if you are watching, well, he's not coming to your club. Trust me. He's not good enough. So
I had a mate that was telling me that he needs more time. I was like, are you even watching our games?
Yeah.
You're not watching.
They don't watch the game. And all his friends, friends in the media as well.
Yeah,
saying the same.
Yeah.
Jamie O'Hara I saw on TalkSport saying
Tim Sherwood as well.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You haven't been watching. We haven't been improving, and it just got to a stage where it just had to be done.
Like getting 2-3 wins is nice, but it's almost like it was always like a mountain, right? We are on the incline, 3 wins. Okay, we lose 1, lose 2, lose 3, draw. Okay, we won a couple, and then I think we've only won like 2 in 20 or something, right? After that,
that's our third win this season.
Yeah, right.
All at home. So,
Danks is
all right. So
record.
Let's wrap it up there. Well, let us know in the comments who you think should be the next coach. Maybe Aaron Danks? I don't know what.
Got Cooper.
Hey. I'd be up for it, but I think the club would be very desperate if they went down that road. But no, let us know. Do you want someone with premiership experience? Do you want a foreigner? Do you want someone who plays attacking football? Do you want someone who just keeps us up this year and then we can build again?
How long do we give Danks?
Exactly. How long should we give Danks? If he wins the next
or do we part way and say thank you?
Thank you for being a friend. That's what we should do. No, but please let us know. And yes, we should do the predictions before we go. For who are we playing next? Newcastle United. That's right. Away at St James's Park next Saturday night, 3 p.m. kickoff. Noah.
I'm going to go a 2-1 Aston Villa win. I haven't predicted a win for a while, Scott. But I'm happy. I'm smiling. Villa won a game. I'm going to go a Danny Ings brace again. And I reckon Matt Targett will wallop home a goal for Newcastle.
Wow. Okay. Tommy?
I'm going to be a little bit ambitious here and say 3-0 to Villa. I don't know. Just after what I saw this morning, that's not a Villa I've seen in a very long time. Even our thumping of Liverpool. They still had chances in that, but just utter dominance for 90 minutes. And Brentford have been hot and cold, but, I feel like on a lot of other days, they're 10th, right, or around there. They're doing well. So I think 3-0. I think we've really turned a corner. And if the same players, we're looking dangerous right now.
Well, I'm going to say 1-1 because I predicted 1-1 for Brentford and we won 4-0. So, no, I'm doing it for superstitious reasons, okay? 1-1.
Well, you got a multi on or something, you prick.
No.
Just some guy on Twitter did correct score 4-0, Leon Bailey and Watkins to score.
Oh, so how much do you get for that?
I don't know. I need to find it on my Twitter, but what the hell, man? Like, what the hell?
That'd be a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah.
Put like $1.50 on it, the tight ass. Put 100. Back yourself. All right.
Okay, well, thanks again for watching, and we will see you all next week for Aston Villa vs Newcastle.
Boy.
Let's go. The new era is here. Come on. Up the Villa.